friends, I'm Heather Sardella with Blossom and Bone Florals here in Durham, North Carolina, and we are a environmentally focused flower shop. I want to make sustainability feel more accessible, so let me begin by saying that you don't have to make all of these changes at once. Sustainable practices can be implemented gradually and at your own pace, but what really matters is that you are making the changes in your practice. We'll be designing an arrangement today that I would typically send out for a daily delivery, and I want to show you some of the practices I've implemented in my own shop to make it more environmentally friendly. Let's take a look at these gorgeous looms we'll be using today. I've picked out 6 varieties that are in season and readily available, giving our arrangement a natural springtime look. By using seasonal flowers, we're also reducing the need for out-of-season blooms that require more energy and resources to grow and transport. For our design, we're going for a lush English garden aesthetic, and to give the arrangement its shape and structure, we'll be using chicken wire to bring it all together. So the flowers we're going to use today are these hyacinth, these ruffly peach lisianthus, these beautiful Ito peonies that we picked up from Mayesh Raleigh this morning, some of these beautiful sweet peas, and these absolutely stunning ranunculus. It's important with chicken wire when you are designing in it to make sure that your flowers have at least 2 points of contact where the stem is going through the chicken wire. So that means there needs to be at least 2 sections where the stem is actually intersecting through, or it probably isn't going to hold as well. One thing to note for daily deliveries is that you don't always know if there is going to be like a hard front or a hard back to the arrangement you're sending out. So I like to make sure that it looks good from all sides. So that's going to be why you're going to notice me turning it every couple moments. My personal design style just lends itself always towards like a high-low moment, so that's kind of what I've got going on here. And so now I feel pretty good about like the base layer shape that I have going on, and I think I'm gonna go and backfill with some of my Lizzie and use that as a loose acting filler. And I'm just continuing to rotate my design. One thing that I think lends itself to so much of the success of our design style is how we break down flowers. We have like a low and lush kind of design style, so I think we can use shorter stems than maybe some other florists. One thing that I actually learned from another Mayesh design star, Sean Strong's videos, were that when I'm designing, in order to give everything this really fun movement so that, you know, your eye keeps feasting on every level and doesn't get stopped or, you know, dead set on something, is making sure that all of your flowers are on different planes. So what that means is making sure that if I were to put a piece of paper on any of these flowers, they don't intersect at the exact same point. If they were to, then I would simply adjust. Maybe you twist one, push it down, pull it up, but that just helps give more versatility and dimension to your overall design, and has been a game changer for my actual designs. One thing I enjoy about using fewer variety of flowers instead of just like a smorgasbord is that I really do think that there is something to be said for like the impact that a just smorgasbord of the same flower can have on you. Like if you think about it, maybe like Alströmera on its own might not be like the most intoxicating or exciting flower, but like 1,000 Alströmeras put together in an artful design, that's impactful. And so I really encourage you to think about that when you're thinking about seasonality of designs and how maybe less could actually be more. So now I'm just doing some light adjusting on my shape, just pulling heads up and stuff. I think that's a big thing that I preach to other florists as they're learning, like pull your heads up. Gravity works as you design. Stems are gonna go down. Like it just happens, and it doesn't matter how good of a designer you are. You do just need to course correct as you're going to make sure the design looks as great as you intend in your mind. When it comes to our full service weddings, we like to team up with local ceramic artists to make unique and beautiful vessels that we can reuse over and over again. This way, we're not only supporting local businesses and keeping money in our community, but we're also reducing the environmental impact that comes with shipping and transportation from big box companies. Plus, by supporting small businesses, we're helping to create a stronger local economy and encouraging more responsible and sustainable business practices overall. It's a win-win situation for everyone. This next part of the design, we're going to use these sweet peas and flesh out just a little bit more of these holes that we see here. And then I think lastly, we're gonna go in with these peonies and kind of give it that oomph moment that everything else is building up for. A really incredible floral designer once told me that the last thing you put in is the first thing that you're gonna see. So I think I really wanna save these peonies for last so it can have a really impactful moment that all of these other elements have been building up towards. When you are designing for an arrangement that maybe needs to be seen from all sides, the way I like to think about it is kind of like riding a seesaw. It's about balance. So if I put something in over in this bottom left corner, I know that I need to put something of equal weight, value, height, something over in this opposite corner. So it's like we're doing this equal but opposite reaction all over the design. And that's gonna give us this 360 effect without doing a spiral bouquet. As florists, we create a lot of waste. Consider composting your waste if you aren't already doing so. There are a lot of companies out there that will collect your waste from your actual physical location and compost it for you. And if you haven't considered saving your Mayesh boxes and returning them to your Mayesh location, maybe you should start. Something that I really preach is working with nature and not against it. And what I mean by that is if a flower is like naturally curving to one side, I want to work with that natural curve. I'm not going to try and fit this flower into a mold that it doesn't work with, like trying to put a square peg in a round hole. It makes it look weird, makes it look ugly. And by working with nature instead of against it, you just create a more holistic arrangement overall. I think I'm gonna cap it at 5 peonies. I've got 3 in now, so I'm gonna put 2 more in a couple holes that I see, and then I'm just gonna maybe see if there's anything else that I want to backfill, cover up, but honestly, it's looking pretty good. I don't think there's a whole lot else I'm gonna wanna do. When you are designing and you want a flower to be like outreaching, but you don't know how to do it, instead of just going like vertically in or like just shoving it up so it's just vertical and sticking out, If you think of of your stem as a straight line, and you imagine your stem going all the way to the back of the room at the angle that you are trying to position your flower at, it will stay at that angle. And that is a wonderful trick to get your flowers to sit and be as high and cute as you want them to be without looking like vertical sticks. These plants can outcompete and displace native species, leading to a loss of biodiversity. An invasive species can also alter the ecological balance of an area and negatively impact soil quality, water quality, and wildlife habitat. I really encourage you to take a look at the invasive species in your area that you might be using in your designs and to halt their use. While I am just completing the design and doing a little bit more backfilling, I just want to note that sustainability in floristry requires us to examine our business practices and their impact on our employees and ourselves. It's really important for businesses to pay their employees a living wage, provide them with PTO and mental health days, and create a fair and equitable work environment. Not only does this make for a happier and healthier workforce, but it also helps us reduce turnover and increase productivity. Plus, it's just the right thing to do. When we value and support our employees, we create a more just and equitable society where everyone can meet their basic needs. And in the long run, this leads to a more stable and sustainable economy and a stronger, more resilient community overall. So I think I'm done with my arrangement. I added in these ranunculus, which I didn't think I was going to, but then seeing them play off the peonies, I couldn't help it. So I added them in, and I don't know, I just think it took it to the next level that I was really hoping it would come to. So I think it's done. I would be more than happy to send this out the door. I'd be more than happy to receive this. It's got a lot of flow, a lot of movement, and the colors are absolutely stunning. So thank you guys so much for joining me today, and let's work together to make our industry more sustainable.